The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. As Jesus was going up to Jerusalem, he took the 12 disciples aside by themselves and said to them on the way, "Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be handed over to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death and hand him over to the Gentiles to be mocked and scourged and crucified, and he will be raised on the third day." Then the mother of the sons of Zebedee approached Jesus with her sons and did him homage, wishing to ask him for something. He said to her, "What do you wish?" She answered him, "Command that these 2 sons of mine sit, one at your right and the other at your left, in your kingdom." Jesus said in reply, "You do not know what you are asking. Can you drink the chalice that I am going to drink?" They said to him, "We can." He replied, "My chalice you will indeed drink, but to sit at my right and at my left, this is not mine to give, but it is for those whom it has been prepared by my Father." When the 10 heard this, they became indignant at the 2 brothers. Jesus summoned them and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and the great ones make their authority over them felt. But it shall not be so among you. Rather, whoever wishes to be great among you shall be your servant. Whoever wishes to be first among you shall be your slave. Just so the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." The Gospel of the Lord. One of my favorite TV shows on Saturday, I think it's like 11:30 in the morning, is This Old House on PBS. And maybe you're familiar with it. A crew goes in and renovates an old house, and it's been on for like 40 years. And I love watching there's something amazing about watching a tradesman, practice their trade. And I don't know, it's kind of like watching the construction of Loyola Hall over here. I mean, these guys obviously know what they're doing, and it's fun to watch someone who knows what they're doing do what they do best. On This Old House, most of the nails that they drive are they're using the air gun to drive nails, but every now and then they have to pull out a hammer in the old-fashioned way and drive a nail. And it's pretty amazing. I don't know the last time you tried to drive a nail, but it's not as easy as it looks. And so they took a big old nail and just boom, boom, 2 strikes and it's in. They didn't miss. I typically would bend it over a little bit and have to kind of hit it on the side, straighten it back up. There's a saying that goes that to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And that means the hammer's primary purpose in life is to drive a nail. And so everything to the hammer, looks like a nail. You can use a hammer to do other things, but it doesn't work so well. You could use a hammer to drive a screw into a piece of wood, but that's not the tool you should be using. You should be using a screwdriver. It'll work, but you're going to ruin the screw and probably make a mess. I mean, to get even more ridiculous, imagine frosting a cake with a hammer. I mean, you're going to make a tremendous mess. Imagine trying to install a pane of glass with a hammer. You're going to make a mess. There's a temptation, I think, in human beings to misunderstand, what we're meant to do. The operative dynamic for a hammer is driving nails. Everything is a nail, or it wants it to be. The operative dynamic for human beings is love. Now, there's a temptation, and we see it in today's gospel. We can be tempted to think that the operative dynamic for human beings is power. That we look at the whole landscape of the world and all the people in the world, and what we look through the lens of power. And that means everything is an opportunity to enact power or take power over someone else, or to enlist them in our taking power over someone else. But truly, the operative dynamic for human beings is love. To put it in a kind of a crass way, because we're made in the divine image of God, we're a tool that is meant best to love. If we try to do other things, we just make a mess. But if we do what we are built to do, and that is to love, we create peace and justice and harmony among people. If we try to do anything else, it leads to a mess.